Hello crafters, welcome to my channel if you're new here. Welcome back if you're a subscriber. Today I'm going to make a card using these. It's the fabulous Reprint Cutie Collection. These two were sent to me for my birthday, which was the beginning of May, from a crafty friend in Sweden, and the Reprint is a Swedish brand. And I think they're beautiful. I have a new grandson and I have a granddaughter as well. And my crafty friend Rita from Sweden thought that this would be a lovely collection for me to have. So today's card is going to be the Stadium Wave card. Now I know that's been out a while, but it is a card that I haven't made on my channel before. I've also gone with a card measurement that I haven't seen on other people's channels. So my card is going to be of the 8x8 size. Now I'm actually gone a little bit smaller. And so I'm going to use these, and I'm going to use the Made to Surprise Baby A6 stamp and die set. I do not believe these are still available, guys. I'm sorry, but I'm just using these because they're what I have in my stash. And just in case my lighting is, my craft room, although I have dual aspect windows, I don't get full sun in either window, so I do have to have lighting on. So you can see that's the Reprint. If I bring this one up closer, you can see all the different pattern papers that's in there. And then this is the monochromes. So this is your lovely matching cardstock to go with it. Both of these, let's see, these are 12x12. There's 10 double-faced sheets, 2 of each design. It doesn't give you the GSM, I don't think, but it feels about 220. This one is 12x12. This is 240 GSM, so great for making mechanisms if you have kinetic cards. I'm using this for the mechanism in my card, and there's 12 double-faced sheets, 3 of each design. So this is the collection that I'm going to be using today, and I have everything ready here off to the side. So, like I said, it's kind of an 8x8 card. I have 8x8 cards and envelopes, and when you buy them in a pack, generally the card size is less than your 8x8. It's usually your envelope that's the 8x8. So this one measured 7 7/8 by 7 7/8, and it's a naff number, because then when you're going down in size, you're going 7/8, 5/8, 3/8, and I just can't be bothered with all that. So I've cut my card base down, and it's 7 3/4 by 7 3/4. As you can see, I have there 7 7/8. Yuck. So that's my card base. It's ready made. You could make this yourself if you cut a piece of 7 3/4 by 7 3/4, and then cut a piece that is 8 1/4 by 7 3/4, and then on the longer side score it a 1/2 inch, and that will give you a 1/2 inch tab to join the two together. And the We Are Memory Keepers, their scoreboard will give you an 8x8 envelope, and there's apps that you can download for random envelope sizes that you want to make yourself, as well as the old internet is really, really good. I have 2 pieces of pattern paper, and these measure 7.5 by 7.5. I'm going to put one on the inside and one on the outside. Now, I was thinking of putting this one on the inside, and our Stadium Wave will go up to it, but I really think that my flowers need to be on this side, but then that makes my writing upside down. So I may put this one inside. Yeah, I may put that one inside and this one on the outside, like so. I think that's very pretty. These are very neutral colors, so this could be used as a boy's card or a girl's card, which I love. And I'm not going to focus this on someone in particular. I'm going to leave it so I can, when I'm giving it to someone, I can put on it happy birthday or for a christening or on the birth of, you know, I'm going to leave it open in that regard. So 2 pieces, 7.5 by 7.5. I also have this piece. It's 7.5 by 4.25. And don't panic, the measurements are in the description down below, as well as links to products. So sit back and relax, enjoy the video, and you can get the measurements then later on. So this piece is going to go inside. So we'll say if this is going to be in here like so, then this piece is going to be here. And that will give me room at the bottom to write, to stamp a message and write a message or whatever I want to do. Normally you would put a full page on the bottom and then maybe, you know, put a panel, a little square or something of white card to do your message, or you'd put your message on the back. But I liked the idea of taking this little piece and putting it here. I've also taken a strip of 1/4 inch cardstock, and it's 7.5 long, and that is just going to bridge between my pattern paper and my white card base. I thought that would be nice, you know, just to kind of finish the edge of that a little bit. Now on the front, while we're here, I have 2 pieces of cardstock. One is in white, and this piece measures 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. I'm going to pop that on the front there, and I do like how this sits. I might do it something like that. I've this piece then, pattern paper, and it's the reverse side of the one we're going to put inside. This piece measures 4.5 by 4.5, and I'm going to mat that on there. And then onto this, I'm going to do a little bit. I'll show you that in a minute, and that will be the front of our card. I don't like decorating the front so much when we have something going on inside, because I don't want people to be inclined to display the front of the card. I want them to display the card open. So generally I would keep that clear. So there is a lovely stamp sentiment that I'm going to put on the front, mini boss, because I figure whether this is a boy or a girl, whether it's a birth card, a christening card, a naming card, a birthday card, mini boss will work fine. Now you could just leave it to mini boss on the front like that, and that would be perfect. You could cut one of the little toppers maybe and pop that in there like so and keep it, would be perfect. But what I'm going to do is, I've taken this stamp and die because I love the teddy bear on the front of this, and this is how I've made it using the monochrome pattern papers, and I just think he would look so cool there with the mini boss. Now I love the blocks, and you can add your numbers or letters. The letters in this will spell baby or, you know, ABC. So what I've done is I've die cut out the little blocks, and I was thinking of having these across the bottom. Now normally I wouldn't go to this much for the front, but I do think it'll be lovely. Now we could just put our blocks down here like so. We could sit our little bear on top, and we could have our mini boss there like that. So lots of options for you to choose from. I do like that idea. I also like it with the topper. So we'll see when I get to that point what, you know, how the fancy takes me. Okay, so before I move on to the next thing, I just want to show you, when you get the die, we'll say for the bear or any die that has layers but you just have one. How I did my bear was, I took the monochromatic cardstock and I folded a strip in half and put my bear on it. And then when you die cut this out, it die cuts out the top one perfectly, but the bottom one below, it doesn't die cut out the bits. And I'm going to die cut that out now and show you, when you double up with a die, how you can get a backing for it. I have some intricate dies in my stash, and it's grand when you're layering them, but you know, having a background to layer them onto really does help. And it's the same with the blocks. I do the same. I'll take a piece of cardstock. I layered the monochromatic with a piece of the white, and I did exactly the same as what I've done there. And then I've taken the border around this piece off and just stuck this piece on. And you can do vice versa then, so you'll have a background piece and a white piece in there. And that's how I got my blocks done. But I'm going to show you how the bear looks once it's die cut out. So I'm going to go and do that next. So now I put it through my die cutting machine. I rolled it through once and back a second time. And when you do that, you'll see you'll have one piece left inside, and then you'll have your background. And if you look at the back, you'll see that it didn't die cut through quite well enough, but it leaves you with all your pieces. So now you can take this out and you can use your pokey tool to pop all the bits out, and then just layer your pieces. So let me get this piece out. So then this piece can be glued on here, and then you can take a little bit of cardstock in black for the eyes like I did. I took a little piece of pink cardstock and put it in for the ears, and the nose I did in a peach color to go with my letters and my stamping, and that then will give you your little bear. And you have a background there that isn't, you know, that isn't die cut out, that'll hold it. So that's what I did for both my bear and for my blocks. That's how I do it. And that's how I do it with any dies that have intricate pieces like that when you want to layer them up. Okay, so that's the front. That's all that bit done. The next thing we need to look at is our stadium wave. So I'm going to move this out of the way. And I'm going to bring in these pieces. So now I've taken a lot of the images that's in the pattern paper and I have fussy cut them out. Now I also got a sheet of 8 by 8 images, and that's what I've cut out of this. The 12 by 12 images, you can see they're a little bit bigger than what the 8 by 8 sheet is, and you will need 10 of these. So I have one left to fussy cut, and I'm going to fussy cut that out. You can see the difference there between this one on the little topper and the one that I've cut out. So I'm going to fussy cut that out, and then we'll have all our pieces. And this is to decorate the stadium wave when you open up the card. And then you'll also need a sheet of cardstock measuring 10 by 10. Then take that sheet and score it at 1/2 inch, 1 1/4, 2 and 6. Then take that piece of 10 by 10 and cut it so that you get strips 1 inch wide with your score lines already done. Now what I did was I cut my 10 strips at 1 inch by 10, and then I had to go along and I had to score every one of them at 1/2 inch, 1 1/4, 2 and at 6. So either way you can do it, but I recommend doing it when it's a full sheet. Then you want to fold it where you've got a valley, a mountain, a valley and a valley. And then these are going to fold in like so. I have put a little bit of double-sided tape here. I'll add a little bit of glue to that and I'll glue that down. And you will then have 10 of these. Now, You can do 5, you can do 9, you could do 6. Depending on how many you put into the card will depend how much it will open. By doing 10, my card is going to open flat. It'll lay flat out like that. But if you want it to sit up like that on a mantelpiece, then you can put less of these in. So it's up to yourself how many you put in. I've got 10 here. Okay. So I think that's everything. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to glue this one down, and then I'm going to bring in the card base. I'm going to add my pattern paper inside, and then we're going to start adhering these. So I'm going to speed through this portion, and I'm going to come back to normal speed once I'm fitting my stadium mechanism into the card. Okay, so we're back now and we're going to attach our stadium waves. Now, I would recommend when you have these all assembled that you pop this into your scoreboard, and at half an inch, you put a little mark at the top and at the bottom. You don't need to do this, but the reason I have done it with all of mine is because when you pop these in, you need to then layer them on top of each other. So one will go in like so, and then this one will sit over the top, and it needs to come over about halfway. So by putting your little score notch or mark in there, you know exactly how far halfway is. And the same with this one. We can notch this one over as well. Now, I'm going to start my first one using my Collal glue. I'm going to go to all the rest using my Burley Arts glue. Any quick grab glue will be grand. And then my last one, I'm going to use my Collal glue again for that, just because the Collal glue is a construction glue and I know it's going to be nice and strong. Also, what I want to do is I need to come in, and the amount I need to come in is 1 1/8 to place my first piece. So I'm going to just bring in my ruler and I'm going to come in 1 1/8, and that's from the outside. So you could come in 1 inch from your pattern paper. And I'm going to put a little mark with my pencil, just so I know. And the last one should finish at 1 inch from the edge of the pattern paper. It should end up just there. So our stadium wave will be between this mark here and this mark here. So I'm going to add down my first one. And I've got my little notches there on the front. And we want to make sure the open mouth, because that's what it looks like, a bird's mouth. This wants to be facing you every time. So I'm going to pop that down there. And you want to bring it up to the score line, but not past it. Otherwise, your card isn't going to close very well. So make sure that it comes just up to the score line. And then you can take your ruler and make sure that you're in 1 inch from the edge of the pattern paper, which I am there. It doesn't have to be exactly, you know, it doesn't have to be exactly. but in and around, because you want the border on either side to look the same. So then I'm going to take this piece, and I'm keeping the join to the top. So this piece then is going to sit on there like that. And I have my little notch there and here, so I'll know to bring it up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my Barely Arts glue, and I'm going to add some glue in here. And I'll know not to go as far as where my notches are. And then I'm going to add this one down. And you want them to be the same at the top and at the bottom. And give that a minute to dry. And then we're going to do the same again. And you can see how that will pop up then, and they'll all swing around. So I'm going to continue on now. I'm going to take all my little mechanisms. I'm going to make sure my little notches at 1/2 inch on the top and the bottom there are up on top. And then I'm going to continue to add these all along till I get to the last one. So I'm going to speed this bit up now. Now that we're on to the last one, we've stuck it onto our stadium wave. I'm going to add some of my Kalal glue now behind this one, and this one gets completely stuck down. And I'm going to fold this over, and I'm going to sit that down there like so, and I'm going to leave that now for that to attach. And while that's attaching, I'm going to stick down, I'm going to put a little bit of weight on that. I'm going to add my phone onto that just there, so it can have a little bit of weight on it. So I'm going to stick down my little blocks now, and I've got some double-sided tape. It's foam tape on the back. And then we'll put our mini boss. And the mini boss, I stamped that using the VersaCraft, and it's called Maze. These little ink blocks. I got them from Love from Lizi. I'm sure she still has some. I'll link it if she does. She has a great range of little VersaCraft ink blocks. And I've got some lovely little Love from Lizi. Again, I used to be a design team member for Love from Lizi, and she does a brilliant range of peel-offs, and not only straight peel-offs, but all kinds of peel-offs. And she has these fabulous stars. So I'm going to pull these out. And I'm going to decorate the front with the little stars, because we do have stars on there. So I'm going to take some off, and I'm going to add them up here. Okay, so let's have a look and see how our card looks when we open it. Oh, isn't that fab? And I'm going to have plenty of room here to put a sentiment, maybe hello baby or happy birthday. I've got loads of room there, and I've got loads of room here as well. So now what I want to do is I want to add my fussy cut pieces. And I know this one is going to sit here like so. I'm going to glue that on there. So when it's open, that will be down there. And then we can take all our little images and we can have some sitting up like that and over there, and the whole lot then will all fan over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fussy cut out this little image, and then I'm going to attach all of my images on here. So let me go ahead and do that next. So now here is our finished card. All I need to do is add some glossy accent to the ears and eyes and nose, and I'll add some to the letters as well. And you'll see that in the finished at the end. I'll do some pictures with that. But when you open the card, I think that looks fabulous. And I'm sorry you can't see it all. It's not all in shot when I do it straight up, but I think that looks really lovely. The Stadium Wave card, I do think it looks lovely. And these reprint cutie images are just beautiful. Now, I know some people are going to want to stand it up like so, but I think when they see it, they'll be like, wow, that's so cute, and they'll have it open. They might even display it like that. But yeah, so that is our Stadium Wave card. I hope you've enjoyed my video. If you have, you might give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, Blonde Cards and Crafts, and ding the bell. That way you'll be notified next time I post a new video. You can share your makes with me on my Facebook group called Your Cards and Crafts. And if you'd like to help support my channel, you can click the super thanks button down below. That will help my channel. So thanks for watching. Until next time, take care, stay safe, and bye for now.